Yo, what's up, guys? It's D Brown with Trackheads. I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Trackheads. So, it's been a minute. You know what I'm saying? I'm fresh. Maybe like 3 or 4 weeks post Japan, post the World Championships. A lot of stuff's been going on. We're going to be talking about Athlos. We're going to be talking about the Athlos meet. We're going to be talking about Femke Bol's big announcement, switching from the 400-meter hurdles to the 800-meter dash and what that means and what I think it means. We're going to be talking about some of the performances for Athlos. We saw Brittany Brown kill the 100 and 200. We're going to talk about, what that means. Some of the interviews that I watched with the founder, which is Serena Williams' husband. We're just going to be talking about a lot of different things related to track and field that we have missed or, since Japan, a lot of things have been happening. This is officially the end of the season. It's officially done. We had, like I said, we had a bunch of great performances at World Championships, but let's go ahead and talk about the first thing. So first thing that we're going to talk about is Miss Femke Bol, right? She dropped a nice announcement. I want to say a couple of days ago from now, maybe like 4 or 5 days ago, 3, 4, 5 days ago, basically saying how, she's her I'm not sure if she's going to be completely done, but basically she's going to be switching to the 800-meter dash or 800 meters. As we know, she's a 400-meter hurdler. She has PRs of 22.6 indoors, 49. She could probably run 48 if she really wanted to. She split 48 multiple times, multiple medals, multiple 400-meter hurdle medals. She's just a monster. She's just really a beast when it comes to the event. She has certainly proved herself, and I think that with this being technically the first, what do you want to call it? The first off season that we've had, or off year, right? Since 2020, we've had 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. 2026, there is really no World Championships. There's certainly no Olympics. It's actually going to be the Winter Olympic Games. Diamond League is trying to come out with other meets to kind of keep the ball rolling. But for a lot of people, it's their opportunity to try different events, maybe get stronger, maybe win other medals, maybe diversify a little bit. She certainly won't be the only one switching, but the biggest news is her. And I don't want to say there's a bit of an uproar. I think a lot of people agree that she could probably do really, really well. A lot of people forget she's also the 500-meter indoor world record holder. She broke that at the New Balance Games. I don't know what year it was, maybe like 2023. I want to say 2022, 2023, the same year that Sydney. It was the first time they had the New Balance Games inside of that facility, the Ocean Breeze facility. I think it's in Staten Island or somewhere in New York. So, again, she is a very, strong athlete. She's very fast, very smooth. Every time you see her, she just has this smoothness about her that is just really, really just great to see. And great rhythm that you want to see in a 400-meter dash. It's certainly not the kind of announcement I thought she would have made. I thought it would have been smarter if she wanted to continue pursuing and chasing the 400-meter hurdles to run the 200 a little bit more and see if she can get her PR in the 200 to get down to like 22.2, 22.3, 22.1. See if she can, really drop some time in there, which would, of course, really improve her 400-meter and 400-meter hurdle exploits because of how strong that she is. I thought that would have been a good play for longevity inside the 400-meter hurdle event. That is what I think Sydney McLaughlin's doing in the 400. Her ability to go 47 is going to maybe improve her ability to possibly go sub 50 in the future in the 400-meter hurdles. But for Femke Bol, I think she's going another route. I think in her mind, she's the best European to ever do it in the 400-meter hurdles, maybe. And chasing Sydney may not be. She doesn't seem like someone who's tied up. She's very intrinsically motivated, very just self-motivated. She wants to run against Sydney. Every time she's run against Sydney, she has not won. But I think seeing what Sydney did this year, she was able to win her own event. I think it really opened the door to hey, I want to explore different avenues. Also, it begs the question, how lucrative is the 400-meter hurdles on the international stage when it comes to financial, right? Even slight pivot to the Athlos meet, they didn't run the 400-meter hurdles as a premier event. They ran the 100-meter hurdles, 100, 200, 400, 800, and mile, right? They didn't do the 400-meter hurdles, which is unfortunate because we have a lot of, athletes that could have participated. There was a lot of 400-meter hurdlers that were there. So it really, again, it just begs the question, how lucrative is it when you win? Is there much backing in terms of financially from it, unless you're breaking a world record? Sydney has set the standard that if you're not breaking a world record in the 400-meter hurdles, then, did you really do anything? If the tree falls in the forest and no one's there to see it, did you do anything? If you win the 400-meter hurdles, did you do anything? So, like I said, I think her move is dope to see. I'm curious of how she's going to do it. I'm curious as to, is it one of those situations where does she want to run it on the international level in terms of like at a big meet? Remember, there's no world championships. They may have a European champs. Is she gonna have the kind of base to be able to run it 3 rounds in a row? Is one thing if she's doing one off rounds and she wants to have like a really dope PR. I think she's capable of running certainly sub 2 minutes. I think she's elite to do that. I think it wouldn't be very difficult for her to run a 57 at the front and then a 60 at the back half, or a 57 and a 58 or something along those natures. I mean, she certainly will have the kind of flat speed. She kind of reminds me of like an Athing Mo, right? Strong enough, fast enough, and that will be her bread and butter in the 800. So very interesting to see. Only time will tell. And as we pivot, let's talk about the Athlos meet, right? So the Athlos meet was pretty dope. Like I said, we had Brittany Brown basically sweep. She got her $120. She got her $120K to go back home with. Certainly, I mean, she's really, really impressive. For it to be that cold in the stadium, I want to say it was probably 50 degrees, 60 degrees. And for her to walk away with a sub 11 clocking and a sub 22-second clocking, it makes you think like, damn, if she would have had this kind of performance in Budapest, she would have got the silver medal. I mean, to run 21.9, 21.89, I think, in that kind of weather was crazy. I think it was even a shock to herself. I mean, she's such a strong athlete. Not the prettiest athlete in terms of running style, right? She doesn't have that nice pronounced knee lift. She doesn't have that technique, but she kind of reminds me of like a, I don't want to say like, kind of like a Michael Johnson, but like, even though she has like a very lean back style, she lands under herself. You know that she's very powerful. She's kind of like a pit bull in terms of just the amount of just rawness that she has when she runs. Like I said, it doesn't look the prettiest, but when you see the mechanics of it, it definitely follows the physics. She snaps down right under herself. She has like a lot of, I don't want to say back kick, but she just has a lot of power. She puts a lot of power into the ground. And I think her ability to maintain that power through the run is really, really impressive. Alavia Battle pulled up alongside her in the 200, and she was able to hold her off, which is kind of impressive. Alavia Battle did a really good job too. Alavia Battle's been running 22.2 all damn year. I think her next year's prospects is going to be really impressive. I think Mackenzie Long got third with like a 22.7. Hasn't had the best year. Really consistent in the mid to high 22s. Hit 21, I think 9 one time, and then her time just shot right back up. I think she kind of mistimed her peak. I think she's training with the University of Florida coach Mouse. So I think her, they're still trying to figure out how to time her season a little bit better, because she usually trains with the University of Mississippi coach, her old coach. So like I said, it's just really, really impressive to see a lot of these athletes come out, perform. We saw Masai Russell, she run the 100-meter hurdles. Tara Davis, she won and did her thing in the long jump in multiple locations. I think there was no doubt that she was going to execute the way she was supposed to. We saw the likes of Paulino do really well in the 400-meter dash. I mean, she just basically just ran it really strong. Nasser pulled up alongside her in the first 150, but it didn't really matter because Paulino's just so damn strong. She went like 50.09, which is really, really impressive. A lot of the 400-meter runners for the United States did decent, but it's very hard to bet against Paulino. She went 47 this year, even in bad conditions. I mean, she flew all the way from the Dominican Republic, which is totally different weather than it is in the, New York, United States. She still was able to do really well. What else? The 800-meter dash was really, really competitive. Georgia Bell looked really good. And of course, we had the winner of the 800-meter dash. Forgot her name, pardon me, but she really, really killed it. Keely Hutchinson, pardon me. Yeah, so she did really well, ran 156, I want to say. Really, really impressive running, considering that she only got bronze at the World Championships. I think she just mistimed the run. I was there in person. I can kind of tell that she let the Kenyans kind of push the pace and dictate the pace instead of letting the race kind of play out the way that she wanted it to. Hindsight is always 20/20 though. The mile was really impressive. I don't know, like, it just showed that how much of a class act Faith Kipyegon is. They basically beat the pacer off the track, who is no slouch herself. It was just really impressive to see her win by 120 meters. Crazy. I mean, Nikki Holtz and everyone else, I don't know what the hell they were doing all the way in the back. I mean, 4:30 is a respectable time, but to see Faith Kipyegon just run, 4:11, 4:12, and just show how dominant she is, it was really, really impressive to see. Just light years ahead of everyone else. Also, that Ethiopian athlete was really great too. So, yeah, it was just overall just a really good meet. It looked like everyone was turning up. Serena Williams was really interesting. She kind of got some of the stats wrong, and they weren't very complex stats, to be honest. They were just basic stats of, like, did you win the World Championships? And she's saying certain people won when they didn't win. And again, did her part. I guess it's good to have your husband put you on the payroll to announce. But couple times, I'm not sure if she was just nervous, but it's like she was slurring her words and stuff. She just seemed very nervous. Like, yo, Serena, you're a Olympic champion, you're a slam champion. Like, it's almost like she tried to be so professional instead of just being like homegirl. Like, yo, be homegirl, be yourself. Like, a lot of these athletes aren't pristine. They're not trying to be all uppity. Like, yo, talk, yo, you killed it at World Championships. You just did your thing. You just beat these girls. Like, you don't gotta. It doesn't have to be so proper. So hopefully Serena Williams loosens up as they start to do more of these track meets. But like I said, she looked really, really impressive. The meet was really, really impressive. Like, everyone was just turning up, drinking. You see alcohol all over the place. It's like the DJ was turning them up. A lot of dancing. It reminds me of, if you remember, if you're from the New York area or New Jersey, Northeast area, we had Colgate. It reminds me of Colgate, but like the adult version, right? Adults, women, being celebrated in the sport, opportunities in the sport, dancing, just feel good, So Athlos is a good look. Even in terms of business, I was watching an interview with Justin Gatlin and his co-host, the Bearded Wonder, and they were talking to, I keep getting his name wrong, the Serena Williams' husband. They were saying, he was basically explaining how next, maybe not this year, but next year they're going to start to become profitable, and they'll be able to strategically bring in partners in terms of, like, investors to help make the business or make the event profitable. One thing that I noticed is that it just seems like with Grand Slam, and I don't want to get off topic here, but when you talk about Grand Slam versus Athlos, it just seems like Grand Slam, their ambitions were so grand. It was so big that they didn't cross their T's and dot their I's. They wanted to be first product to market in the United States, that they didn't recognize or even factor in the business component to, like, a T, right? One thing I can say about Athlos is that they did one event, and that one event at the end of the year was kind of like the finale of the season, and it catered to an audience. It catered to women who were going to turn up, have fun. Like, it was strategic in brand partnerships. You can get makeup, you can get hair, you can get music, you can invite it, put it in New York City, where I know a bunch of people from New York. They were there turning up, having fun. They catered to the youth. They were able to get the young girls out there. Again, they followed, like, that Colgate model, in which it's so easy to advertise to women, because women are market movers. And I think that when it comes to Grand Slam, it's definitely not a bad concept, but I think they may be shot a little bit too high. And they didn't show proof of concept before they injected all that money into it. Proof of concept ended up being disproven to investors at the first meet, and they were on the hook for all these other meets that kind of messed up. If the investors are not happy, they were able to take their money out. So I don't think the investors should have been able to take their money out, but nonetheless, the investors took their money out. So I say all that to say, it was very interesting to see Athlos, their second year in a row. They're showing that they're consistent. They're showing that this is the standard that we're going to present. And if we're able to do it one time, we're able to do it multiple times throughout the year and show that consistency and show that, look at all these people that came out to turn. I mean, we had Olympians show out. They probably weren't even paid to do it. It was just there like on the, yo, let's show that, you know, it's almost like they brought like a primetime NFL like pro day. You know, when they kind of like have fun after, like right before the Super Bowl, it kind of was like that kind of feel. You see all the stars come out. And I think with Grand Slam, it was something similar. The people were getting paid and stuff like, or people were showing that they were going to get paid, getting all this money. You see all these performances, but it's just the execution wasn't there. So all that to say, Athlos was a really dope performance. I was really impressed with Brittany Brown. I'm really impressed with Messiah Russell and how she was able to execute. I'm really excited to see how even Femke Bol decides to, you know, pursue this 800-meter dash. I'm sure there's a bunch of other things I could talk about when it comes to track and field. I'm going to see what other news I missed in these past couple weeks since coming back from Japan. But I want to thank you guys for watching. This is D Brown with Trackheads. Peace.